what an entertaining ball game, and I had to talk that long, so Coach Flip Quarter, who now joins us, can just catch his breath from watching. Boy, what do you think of that half?
Pretty exciting, and it's a little weird to come watch a ball game and not be sitting on a bench somewhere yelling at people, but it's definitely been entertaining, back and forth. It seems like every time one of the teams goes on a run, the other one answers right back with one of their own, and looking like it's going to be one of those games that come down to the last couple of possessions there in the fourth quarter, and whoever has the ball late, last possession, may end up winning this thing.
Well, one of the things we had talked about a little bit earlier in regards to some pregame discussion was the environment here, of course, was electric. You had the whole possibility of the undefeated season and the conference title on line. And Adrian, a team that when they shoot well can give lots of folks fits, and they're one of the teams that have played Rich Hill as good as anybody thus far this season. Add into the fact that it's senior night. Allie Taylor going for 1,000. Blaine Robb going. This place was electric early. How would Adrian respond? They just soaked it all in and have absolutely mano-a-mano punched back and forth either way. Put yourself on the bench for either side. What do you look to do maybe out in the second half? Some things you've seen.
Both teams on offense are getting the ball in the paint just pretty much whenever they want to at will. A lot of dribble drive, getting inside. For Adrian, they got great shooters out there on the perimeter with the Steen boys. They've also got Logan Harris out there, but they've been putting him out in the corner. Both teams need to keep the other team out of the paint. It's just been a lot of Rich Hill's doing it a little bit different fashion than what you're seeing Adrian doing. Adrian's just running a lot of spread it out, kind of 4 out, 1 in, dribble drive, try to get it into the paint, dish it off to the big kid inside, kick it out to a shooter. Rich Hill, they're getting a lot more of the ball screen action, so it's kind of a pick your poison, and you could go to some zones to potentially limit the dribble drive, but at the same time, both teams shoot the ball so well, like you were saying earlier, that you're going to be giving up some open looks outside. So do you want to give up the paint, or do you want to give up the open jumpers from outside? And kind of glad I'm not having to make those decisions tonight. I'm going to take the mental night off.
Well, this is one of those games we talked last night with Coach Ryan Rapp on the Coaches Show, and Adrian hit 10 of 14 in threes last time these two teams met. So my thought was they're going to be willing to give up that dribble penetration in an effort to guard that line a little bit earlier. But yeah, Logan Harris, and that was something early in the season, and you've not had a chance to see him as much as some others, but that was a new element that's really developed the last month or so with Harris being able to get to the rim and stuff so easily, because when that collapses the defense, like you allude to, them open shooters, just get some easy saves. Let me shift gears completely on you then here. We'll keep it in basketball. I know you wanted to talk South Carolina primaries. You're a man of all seasons and discussions, but you, of course, coach up at Crest Ridge, for those that are not familiar, and again, you're Bryant's uncle, again, for those that may not know. You guys come up, and you got a pretty tough task ahead of you. You're going to face the 2 seed, and you guys come into the seeding now. You're 4 games, I think, under 500, but just 1 game under, all the way down to the 7th seed, and you're going to get a 4-loss Lincoln team in what a lot of folks, and you kind of had joked, as the district of death over there in Windsor. What are you looking for out of that Cardinal squad?
They're kind of very similar to both of these teams, actually. They're not very big. They only got a couple of kids at 6 foot or larger, but they are very guard-oriented. They shoot the 3 very well. They got a junior kid, went over 1,000 points earlier this year. Boone Kroenke averages 18.8 points per game. Half his field goal attempts, half his field goal makes are 3-pointers, and we've watched 2 or 3 films on him already this week. On Lincoln, not just him, but they can flat out shoot it. They're drive, they quick. They're going to play a lot of strong man-to-man. They're a challenge, that's for sure, and we're looking forward to it. One of those things, we go out and play 32 minutes, and they miss a few shots here or there. We hit a few shots here or there. We can see what happens. But like you said, it's a very tough district. I mean, we're looking at the 6th seed, Windsor, the host, is sitting at like 14 or 15 wins, and they're the 6th seed in that district when they'd be a 3 seed in a lot of districts. And we'd be looking at a 4 or 5 in some. But, it's like we were talking about today with the kids. If you're going to win a district, you got to beat good teams anyway, so might as well just get started with it early.
Well, and I haven't memorized all 16 districts across all 3 classes, but in just kind of scattering around and looking, I've only found one that had more teams above 500. There's a class, I believe it's either 2 or 3 girls bracket, that 7 of the 8 teams have winning records. So, yeah, well, you just absolutely loaded, and the thing of that is, of course, the winner of that district gets the winner of this one, and these 2 teams playing tonight, the top seeds, they may be sitting back just saying, just beat each other up all week long, and one of us then will get a chance to, maybe pick on high school kids. They can run forever, but maybe someone that's a little battered or bruised after the districts next week.
Well, in our district, Sacred Heart is, they're the top dog, and they have been for the last few years. We played them first game of the season, lost by 12 to them. I thought we played really well, and it was kind of crazy as after that game we were like, hey, they're a good team. They're a real good team, but they're not nearly as good as what they did in the last few years. They're 21-3 right now. They may be 21-4. I can't remember. They did take a forfeit on Tuesday. They had a student over at Sacred Heart pass away this week, and their players voted to not play the game Tuesday night. And the story we got that they voted not play the game. They took the forfeit, which ended up meaning that Sacred Heart had a three-way share for the conference championship instead of winning it outright. So if that's a true story, tip my hat to Coach Goodwin over there for real class act with doing that and putting things before basketball. And I kind of got off the topic a little bit there, but I would totally be down with watching a Rich Hill Sacred Heart sectional rematch at Clinton like last year, because that was one of the best games I saw last year. Came down to the very, very last seconds, and the winner of that's probably going to end up playing Wellington, who unfortunately I am very well versed in seeing.
They're a team not the side. They're really like that Lincoln team a lot. A lot smaller and stuff. But boy, they just push and score all night long.
They shoot the ball well. They pressure you, and they're a fun team to watch if you're not coaching against them.
You want to hang here for a little bit in the third quarter? I didn't know if you needed to play Candy Crush there or something.
No, I got my little cheerleader with me tonight, and now that she's got my phone going, she's going to be happy for a while.
Blackhawks have the basketball after the Tigers miss a shot to open the third quarter. Hekinen out front gets a steal, tries to roll it up ahead to Mumal. Now to Robb, he'll drive to the rim. Bucket rolls off, no good. A lot of contact, nothing called, and then the Blackhawks come out with it. To the other end, quickly Logan Harris attacks, got Quarter backing up, and you can see he took a step really late. Otherwise, he was probably set up to get the charge.
Yeah, and where he was positioned too, he was kind of right underneath the rim. I know it's high school, there's no restricted area or anything, but even high school referees don't like to give you the benefit of the doubt on a charge call if you're that close to the rim.
So Logan Harris to the free throw line. Bryant with the foul. I believe that will be his second personal. They'd flashed two up really early, and again, I think they'd split one on Robb. And the free throws both dropped in. I think they messed up the scoreboard there, though, as it should be 35-34 now. And showing rather 36-34. Left side, George with the basketball, again joined by Mumal, Quarter, Hekinen, and Robb. Out front, they'll work on the dribble drive. Pass comes down to Hekinen. He'll hit Mumal. Nice ball fake left side, and then Steen with good hands pokes it out of bounds. It will stay with Rich Hill. So Logan Harris with 11 now in the ballgame again after he cashes both freebies in just a moment ago. And the Tigers trigger in. Mumal with it on the wing to Quarter. Up top, Hekinen back to Bryant. A play against that defense. Dribble left side. He'll kick out now. Mumal attacks the paint. Runner up and rims through. Jacob with 10 in the basketball game. And that scoreboard again saying 36 all, but shot quickly this end, misses, no good. And I didn't miss something in looking down, did I, in regards to Harris making both free throws, and they were down one. That's the only points of the half. Now Mumal will fire, jumper no good. Steen clears in traffic, and up this way he'll come. Into the forecourt. Now they go left side. Tallman launches. Three on the way, no good. Hunter Harris rebound. One dribble. His half hook goes down. Hunter with 8 in the basketball game. And 37-36 our score. Again, the scoreboard showing 38-36. And now we've got a whistle at the other end of the floor. Will be a foul, I believe, down underneath on Hunter Harris. Oh, I thought it rimmed out. So there's the answer there. Logan Harris had a three-point play. I thought the shot had rimmed out. It went down. So that is the differentiation there. Tigers quickly score. This side of the floor as they'll tie it. Bryant gets that one down underneath. He's got 14 in the game. And another quick shot. Boy, if you want to have some fun, I need someone to run the scoreboard and keep stats because both teams are trumping. We don't need but about a 7-second shot clock in this one tonight, and there'd be plenty of time every possession. Quarter misses the jumper. Mumal clears out front to Robb. Now to Kyle George. Clock runs at 5:33. Hekinen, left side, Quarter with the basketball. Great high school game tonight here. The Tigers try. They are, in fact, the only team, by the way, in Class 2, undefeated. Robb, 3-ball on the way. Front iron, no. And then underneath. And I tell you what, Muma and Tallman really mixing up there. They're going to say that goes off of Jacob out of bounds back to Adrian. And I think he got a little extra oompah with the box out after the ball was tapped out. Steen to the other end now, and he'll just absolutely attack down underneath as got Muma backing up, and then looked like he was going to pass it and then leveled his full body weight into Jacob.
Muma did a nice job of staying there to take it, but they got Hekinen on a little push from behind right there.
So that will be second team foul on Rich Hill. Third they say on Hekinen. I only had him as 2. We've had some scoreboard concerns all evening from the girls' game earlier. Entry pass here now. Tapped out. It will stay with Adrian. Hawks again have their starters in. Both Harrises, both Steens and Tallman. And Flip, I'll throw this your way in regards to just the perspective of coaching. Just one sub in the first half for Coach Bezor. These kids are in great shape. Steen, 3-ball up, no good. Is that any concern? I mean, what do you think if you're playing with a rotation like that? Where do you try to look to steal a minute or two from a sub?
A lot of times, you get to the end of the quarter where there's just like a minute or so left. Maybe a situation even right now where you got a guy going to the line for the other team where, you've got a little bit of time coming, no time coming off the clock, but there's no action. You maybe get a sub in there for maybe just 30 seconds of game time, but it actually gets them about 3 minutes of actual rest. There's ways around it, and a few of these guys are probably going to get some rest because of some foul trouble here before long if they're not careful.
Tallman with the foul, second personal, team 2. Moomaw good with the free throw. Tigers regain the edge, 39-38. Possible as well as this one rims out, no good. Adrian down with it. Might Coach Bezor have an ace card in his back pocket? If Robbs gets to 1,000 at the other end now, we're going to have a blocking foul on Quarter. Harris to the rim and scores and fouled again. Might he have the ace card thinking, I know they'll stop the game if Blaine gets to 1,000? That's a free timeout for me.
It really is, because that's one of those things. It's kind of a touchy situation, a tough situation, because you want to celebrate the kid for making that accomplishment, but at the same time you're burning one of your timeouts that you may end up using later on down the road, and it does give them a little bit of a breather that they're probably going to end up needing.
So 3-point play completed, second one in this quarter, up 2 now. Adrian matches their largest lead of the game. Fourth time it's been there now, 41-39. Quarter out front with the basketball, clock running at 4:36 to go. There's another factor in this as well, and it'll bring up as Bryant dribbles off to Moomaw to the baseline now. He'll spin, kick out, Quarter for the lead, 3-ball down. Bryant with 17 in the ballgame. I talked with Ryan after the game Tuesday, and then we mentioned the coaches show last night as well. And Osceola's a different beast in terms of how physical they are and stuff, but they had a good back and forth, and now Steen scores inside. He's got 11 in the basketball game. Adrian back up 43-41 the score. You like to have games like this, though, late in the year. You don't want to go into districts just having cruised through some 20, 30-point ball games. And not that they're going to lose, not that you want that to happen, but you'd rather get a punch in the mouth and awakening here as opposed to find yourself in that come district time.
Yeah, best case scenario for Rich Hill and for Adrian, too, is you want to have a good, tight game where it comes down to the end, and you still want to get the win, but it is going to be a little bit of a wake-up call potentially for him going into next week, because like you said, once you get into the semifinal round of districts, and definitely the district championship game, anything can happen. You're not going to have teams that you're going to blow out. I mean, you look at what Rich Hill did last year, beating Lockwood pretty handily early in the season, then turned around and had to beat them in overtime at the district championship game. Anything can happen when it's late February and March when you're dealing with a bunch of 16, 17-year-old kids.
Loose ball here after a jumper misses by Steen.